Fina and Dark Fina first appeared in a bundle of all things. At the time of their release, they weren't exactly an outstanding unit, so they received very little fanfare. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the players who bought their bundle only benefited from their Trustmaster reward, a magic accessory that lets your unit dual wield. So yeah, rave reveals. But now they've received a Neovision Awakening, which honestly has a fairly shaky track record. And what tends to determine viability? Active abilities. Magia Guard raises their magic and spirit by 250% and enables a triple cast. Scroll further down and we'll find Earth Whip, a Earth Status Brave Magic Brave ability that raises their limit burst damage by 150%. Other than that, they still have some potential, with a beginner's pack of necessary white magic and trust, the ability to cure all status ailments, some light and dark resistance, and a 120% Earth Imperil. If we look at their passives, they've gained a 30% boost to their Earth resistance, and I ran out of important things to say. They still prefer to dual wield, but I prefer activating their Brave Shift. Speaking of which, their Brave Shift doesn't have a turn duration, though it does have a 2-turn cooldown. Onto their active abilities. They still have their white magic, so that's always an option. Earth Arrow is an Earth Absolute Mirror of Equity magic Brave ability. Gleaming Arrow is a weak, light version of Earth Arrow. Earth Veil can be used once. It fills their limit burst gauge and boosts your team's Earth damage by 20%. Onto their passives. They have a small boost to their limit burst gauge fill rate, their limit burst damage, and some elemental resistance. If you'd like to build them, I recommend letting them dual wield, as it frees up additional slots for killer buffs and the like. Finally, their limit burst. Earth Judgment is an Earth magic attack that lowers the enemy's Earth resistance by 130%. The damage modifier isn't exactly impressive. Well, let's rank Brave abilities. I recommend raising Magia Guard to boost the buffs, Earth Arrow to increase its damage, my own Rival for Affection to increase her magic stat, and finally Earth Whip and a Deep Connection, since they only affect her regular form. Time to make a damage rotation. For whatever reason, they don't have a multicast on their Brave Shift, so it's best to take advantage of the one on her regular form. Go ahead and cast Magia Guard and Nemesis Whip Crack. On turn 2, activate her Brave Shift, cast Earth Veil and dual cast Earth Arrow. On turn 3, activate her Limit Burst. From here, just triple cast Earth Arrow to do damage. Make sure to cast Magia Guard before its triple cast wears off, otherwise it'll disrupt your Stride. So how good is Fina and Dark Fina? In terms of damage, they're incredibly underwhelming. Their damage modifiers just aren't high enough to compete with many top-tier magic damage dealers, and it doesn't help that their Earth damage is pretty much the best they've got. They do have some additional utility, and while it's not substantial or efficient, it can certainly work so long as they're regulated to a support row. Still, if you plan to use Fina and Dark Fina, you'll definitely have to make sure the rest of your party can compensate.